and they're very concerned with value. It's important to reinforce the welcoming and inexpensive programming at MRC and undertake promotions which allow them to sample and develop a taste for different event experiences. Discerning, completely different. Cash-rich, time-poor, committed to a particular art form. They may be into classical or pop and they know exactly what they're like and they're willing to pay for that. Typically urban, aged 25 to 40, they'll go to the venue where their favourite musicians are performing, and the total experience is very important to them. They're present on the database in moderate numbers for classical music and much higher for more mainstream fare. They represent a large opportunity for repeat purchase and for exposure to other kinds of genres. And then you've got their passionate, they're classical music devotees, big fans of the MRC, very frequent visitors. They're probably poly-organisation subscribers. They're trying and buying in a number of different ones. They're mature, perhaps retired, very knowledgeable, and they're most likely to have some formal music training. MRC has extremely good extremely good penetration into this market. So Rob tells me they're yet to completely size the segments in their customer database, but the relative size of the different circles indicates the approximate sizing that they're getting from the survey samples that they've done. So for him, he's saying that he's complementing what they've already done with some more rigorous data to size it more accurately is an absolute priority. And he said that he'd love to work with organisations like Arts Victoria on obviously sizing the Greater Melbourne arts consumption market in perhaps a similar way. So look, that's all I had to talk about. I would be quite happy to take some questions if we have time. I don't have a watch up here.
You've got a couple of minutes.
2 minutes? 1 or 2 questions for anyone?
Aaron, I was just wondering whether you could give us some insight on how you think about psychographic indexing versus behavioural indexing. I mean, how do you put those together, and which do you give priority to? Is it always going to be at the baseline behavioural and then psychographic is sort of a nice add-on to it, or is it sometimes in limited, I guess, mailing environments, or where you're really trying to manage a tight set of offers?
I know what you mean. Look, in my experience so far, I've felt psychographic was a bit of an add-on. It was more nice to have, and it's simply because I guess I was focused on the practical outcomes of what I was going to do. I mean, to do a segmentation where you know that you can influence behaviours to get a particular result feels a lot more quantifiable as a marketer than relying purely on psychographical stuff. But then again, I did see some results when we did use the segmentation which contains psychographical stuff to make decisions around spend as well. So I think look, it really gets back to that whole notion of testing again and just seeing what works. But I know for some organisations who